this is Mrs. Reichel, and we're moving on to part 2 in your study guide. So if you're following along in your notes, we did the first part last video segment, and then this one we're moving on to number 2, which covers the functional classification of the nervous system. And I'm actually going to try to break things up and make them a little bit smaller. So you have the same kind of flow chart that you had the last time. So in the top middle one, this goes through the nervous system. So this chapter is all about the nervous system. And then the nervous system is broken up into 2 functional classifications. So our functional classifications include the sensory, or the afferent pathway. And basically what happens in the sensory or the afferent pathway is we're going to be transmitting information. So information is going to go from the peripheral nervous system to the central nervous system. And hopefully this is review from the very beginning of the school year or semester 1, when we talked about we have a stimulus, it goes through the afferent pathway, goes to the integration center, then it goes to the efferent pathway. So this sensory, this is the afferent pathway. This is what we pick up with our senses. So the information goes from the peripheral nervous system back to the central nervous system. And when it goes back to the, there's actually 2 different places within. So if this is one big giant box that's not that big in your notes, sorry about that. Then we get somatic, so we have a somatic side to this. And then we have a visceral section. Okay, so the somatic one is going to be when you receive signals from your skin or joints or what else? Skeletal muscle. Or any other sense, really, so your senses. Okay, that's going to be the somatic division. Then we have a visceral division, and the visceral division receives information from the viscera. And I'm just going to say from the viscera. Okay, then we move on. If we're going back up, we have the sensory or the afferent pathway. So then this one is going to be the efferent or the motor pathway. So this is going to be the opposite now. This means that we're going to transmit information from the central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system. Same thing, we can have it be somatic. Somatic is going to be voluntary. Or it's going to be autonomic or automatic. And autonomic is going to be anything that's going to be involuntary. So 1 and 2 of the study guide really talk about the structural classifications and also the functional classifications. Although they're very similar, just be aware that the structure and the function are broken up into a little bit different ways, but overall we're really talking about the same parts of the nervous system. So I hope you found that part to number 2, the functions of the nervous system, helpful.